Good morning, everyone. So, I am here with the Indian Express newspaper, and today's date is March 19th. Okay, so let's begin today's session. I don't know why these pages are in opposite way. Um, okay, so whatever the front page, we are going to read it, and after that, we are going to next page. Okay, so here it's about the world section, and over 900 killed, 8 lakh forced to flee their homes, says Lebanon. लोगों को घरों से भागने के लिए भी फोर्स किया जा रहा है। लगभग 900 लोग मारे जा चुके हैं। What Israel intensifies strike on Beirut. Iran seeks new Hormuz protocol. About the war of Iran, Israel, US. Okay. Mass funeral for victims of Kabul Rahab Center. Afghanistan and Pakistan declared pause in fighting for Eid. Why people are trying to kill each other? Already humans have a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and still they are just trying to kill each other. That's very fearful. Dark transit. 90 ships cross the strait as Iran export millions of barrels of oil despite conflict. Iran's decision making hit by killing of Larizani, its options now very limited. Open or shut, Singapore misses its iconic Indian restaurant. Okay, after reading all the important section of world, and we are at the front page. So missiles fired at Israel. Larizani funeral held. Israel strike Iran gas field, kills intel chief. South Pars. Look at this graph. What war gives us? War gives us dead bodies. War gives us destruction. War gives us loss in production. Okay, only negative impact. There is no positive impact through any war. Okay, the another word of war is just a bloodshed. Everywhere you will show a lot of blood. People are dying. People are trying to kill each other. Okay. So HDFC bank chairman quits. Cites ethical concern. Certain practices. Atanu Chakraborty. The KK mystery named interim chairman. Okay. The chairman is going to quit. Okay, and the KK mystery named as interim chairman. Succeed Atanu Chakraborty. American Hezbollah for terror plot found in Libya, Ukraine. We could see the missile coming, a captain's call that ended 2 weeks of fear. Supreme Court let off Sandesaras with rupees 5,100 crore deposit banks seduce rupees 19,000 crore. What is happening today? Japan PM Sanae Takaichi will visit White House. Okay, White House in US, and they are going to talk with the President Trump since he urges allies to send warship to the Strait of Hormuz. This is the second page. You will get detailed explanation of first page. Each and every news details are given here. Please read it if you want any news in detail, okay? About the city, what is happening? Police pack the street after threats and hate speeches. Ahead of Eid, Uttam Nagar is uneasy about the outsiders. Social media post. Not that important, that's why just skip it because these all are the local news. What's about the DU? Iftar gathering called off day before event as DU bans on campus cultural programs. Okay, not that important. Okay, what is happening inside our parliament? Like a lot of topics are discussed there. So the important topics are written here like no full stops in politics. PM bids farewell to retiring RS member. Hmm. So that's not that important. But okay. Lok Sabha passes demand for grant for many ministries. Rupees 53 lakh crore cleared. What recommends that the scheme will eventually extended for students up to class 12. Provide breakfast too under PM Poshan panel. GPS anklet fitted on GEM or ground worker in Jammu and Kashmir. UP went for crisis of identity to model of security. CM on 9 year in office. That's politics section, not that important. About the nation, kept 60% seats free of selection fee. Can sit together if PNR is same, says government. Seven of family killed in indoor house fire. EV charging point suspected to be source. So 23,000 students from the region registered for class 12 exam. So CBS exams in West Asia, clarity on class 10 but class 12 still wait. Okay. Due to wars and the fights, just because that I think there is delayed in exams and students are still waiting. Means through war, look at the situation. Education system is also impacted from it. It's a very crucial topic. We have to think about it. We people have to think about it that we are only facing a lot of troubles through this war. There is no benefits, but still people are doing it. People are trying to fight with each other. Okay, moving from it. Pays rupees 1.44 lakh crore of water users since 1960 on stop drawing. Man tells Rajasthan. Punjab CM Bhagwant Mann. Three workers killed while cleaning hospital septic tank in Raipur. A decade on the run, undone by digital slip. Modern revolution. Okay. What's happening inside our nation? Can't afford to refill LPG cylinder. Workers exodus sets alarm bell ringing in Surat's textile industry. Many of those employed in the textile industry wait to board a train at Udhna railway station in Gujarat, Surat. Just because of lack of LPGs. Former diplomat Navdeep Suri is guest at Explain Live today. US offers illegal immigrants $2,600 bonus for self-exist post image from India, China. Nation year after stir over orange Tom sparked riots in Nagpur, charge set filed in all FIRs except one. Gujarat's UCC bill seeks to regulate live-in relationship. Okay, sorry. What the bill proposes common legal framework for marriage and state UCC push. The UCC has been proposed nearly a month after the Gujarat government proposed amendment to the Gujarat Registrar of Marriage 2006, which making parents' consent compulsory for registering marriage. In the beginning of budget session of the Gujarat Assembly, setting love jihad. Okay, give me a name. Okay, that's not important. French honor for our ex-diplomat, former Indian ambassador to France, Javed Ashraf, with French ambassador Thierry Marteau and NSA Ajit Doval after he was conferred with the Commandeur de la Légion d'honneur, France's highest civilian rank for foreign nationals in Delhi on Wednesday. Ashraf is currently the chairman of the International Trade Promotion Organization. Okay. Sanatan affidavit must for shrine entry, says Badrinath Kedarnath Temple Committee President. Arrest over iftar on Ganga. Varanasi police now looking for boat operator. Okay, we're reading all the important sections. We are at the editorial section. So those who deny freedom to others deserve it for not for themselves. Okay, Abraham Lincoln. That's important. That's true line. Okay. So what's the topic of article? I'm not going to read this time when the session is ending. Okay, when I read all the important pages, after that I'm going to read the editorial section because it takes time, a lot of time with a lot of energy. So, silence on West Asia war is not moral surrender but irresponsible statecraft. Okay. First topic, killing Iran's leader is fraught and escalatory. A bill that narrow not expand right. German scholar pioneer of India's regional history writing. Okay, so these are the topics. We are going to read it. Okay, so it's important. Mhm. We are going to read it. Okay. Hmm. The another section explanation. This one is also important. These are the important just because of current affairs also, and you will going to enhance your knowledge if you are going to read it. So what is happening inside the economy? Government has capped commercial LPG supply at 20% of average requirement. So center to state of PNG rollout, get additional LPG for businesses. Okay. So domestic demand parity over fuel request from neighbors. Center to state. There is a lot of requirement of LPG, we all know. Okay. And how we are going to cope up with it? Let's read it. Okay. So the close on the hill of urging state to help expedite expansion of piped natural gas (PNG). Okay, and coverage amid shortage of LPG. Due to West Asia conflict, Center on Wednesday said it would incentivize the state that to so by allocating additional volume of LPG for commercial use beyond the current allocation of 20% of demand. Means in total demand, first of all, government says that you have to use the pipe gas. Government is trying to give the pipe gas instead of using LPGs. Okay, and this time government can able to fulfill only 20% of demand. Okay, means the government is not able to fulfill all the demands of the LPG. That's why. And we also saw nearby our markets that there is black marketing of LPGs are also happening. So under the proposal, state could get up to 30% of commercial LPG demand. Each state only, whatever the demand that they have, only 30% will be coverable. Okay. So faster rollout of PNG infrastructure. So what this comes amid these centers appeal to LPG consumer commercial user as well as household to shift to PNG where feasible. Okay, to take some pressure of the LPG supply. So with the effect of hold of maritime traffic through Strait of Hormuz, India's LPG supply will implement. Okay, so through the all the outcomes, and this all says that the pressure of LPG supply is too much in the head of government due to stop or due to lack of import from LPG. The India is facing a lot of problems and they are unable to face the demands of consumers. So the total countries depend on the 60% of import and 90% of flow, which means over the third 60% of LPG is dependent on import, and these from that 60%, 90% is passing through Strait of Hormuz. Okay, 90% and 10% different areas. So 90% are from Strait of Hormuz. So this time it means that roughly 55% of LPG consumption volume is currently unavailable. So government has prioritized LPG supplies to household and commercial user like restaurant facing several shortage of the fuel. So in letter to the chief secretaries of all state and union territories on Wednesday, Petroleum Secretary Neeraj Mittal wrote in current LPG shortage scenario, OMCs are providing 20% of commercial LPG for state. It would be smart move at the stage for states to enable transmission of LPG consumer to PNG. So what PNG for commercial is in the short supply, it allocate to be increased 30% provide state. Okay. So in the letter of Metal Rod that the state get additional 1% commercial LPG allocation for hmm, मतलब जितना भी सारा शिकायत है whatever the grievances they have, okay, they will going to cover it, means government is going to cover it by providing all the LPGs and providing solution of it. So 2% allocation will be made to the state and union territories order. Okay, so also the new one after the lapse of 24 hour of application lay. Uh, hmm. So the total 30% of demand for the fuel from commercial consumer, where Mittal said that the city gas distribution firm which operate PNG network have said that many local bodies levy high right of use and pipeline drilling charges and lease rent, which has damaged the CGD investment climate, which rollout of PNG connection for household users. Just 1.6 crore connections are functioned against a minimum work program commitment of 12.63 crore. So it is known that excessive taxes on fledgling businesses that could strangulating effect on other consequential economic activities on that business. Therefore, needless to say that having reasonable taxes, other charges on CGD activity. Okay. So for the improving the investment and environment and expedite adoption of natural gas as a clean fuel and substitution of scarce LPG supply, what the government states they may require the local bodies to minimize the level of charge levied on the business CGD entities and improve ease of doing business with the road. Okay, so it's mainly about the supply of the LPG. Okay, and what the Sujata Sharma, the petroleum secretary, what type of statement that he says, everything is written here. Okay, so how they are going to minimize the demand and how they are able to provide it. These all are the conflict and they are going to solve it. Okay. Domestic sourcing of solar wafers ignored. How will it curb Chinese import? Union Cabinet approves several infrastructure and industrial initiatives. Not to 100 plug and play industrial park under new Bhavya scheme. A small hydropower project get rupees 2,585 crore scheme push. Why OpenAI and Anthropic are hiring chemical weapon experts. Hmm, that's all. So it's important that why the question is given and the answer is that so AI tools were being used by the US military to ongoing war on Iran. Top AI companies like OpenAI and Anthropic are looking to hire expert who can suggest guardrail when their software is being used in situation like military conflict. Okay, so it can be used as a chemical weapon and high yielding explosive expert to try to prevent catastrophic misuse of its software. So, OpenAI researcher and biological and chemical risk, the move come as AI systems are seen rapidly becoming embedded in modern warfare from intelligence processing to battlefield planning, and it uses AI as the warfare and come under the intense inspection after the report emerged at Anthropic's AI model cloud used by the US military during operation against Iran. Even Washington and the company remained locked in bitter dispute over the technology's military application. So US Department of Defense system have used this technology to battle scenarios and analyzing intelligence data. So this is the thing that is written here that how they can use this as sorry as weapon expert and as sorry okay so as tool of war. Okay, so that's all. Moving to the topics which I take. So BRICS should step in restrain US Israel. How BRICS is going to step in? ब्रिक्स को रोकना चाहिए. There are 4 to 5 countries inside BRICS and they have to step in and they have to stop this war between US and Israel. So The West Asia continues to trapped in deadly conflict with no end in sight. Most recently, Iran's security chief Ali Larijani, the parliamentary force, Basis commander Ghulam Mirza Soleimani have been killed. The conflict has claimed over 1,300 lives, energy prices have hit the roof, and global security is at stake. So, what the global response remains tepid and perfunctory. It marked by strategic ambivalence and risk aversion. So, the world is drifting toward disorder in the absence of collective action. So, the leadership paralyzes. European leaders have abdicated their obligation. So, leader of South, Global South, is reluctant to coordinate a joint response where every state is apprehensive of disrupting its ties with Washington and ensuring relation with unpredictable US President Donald Trump. What the central dilemma facing for every state? Who will bell the cat? Every state recognizes the threat to global security, but each remain averse in initiating action fearing punitive measures. Washington uncertain outcomes. Assuming entrance to set address economic diplomatic climate is changing in course of war is struggle. So the European countries. Okay, so there are a lot of issues, a lot of reasons that is given by the BRICS countries. That's why they are not want to interrupt in it, and the Europe does not want to disrupt its alliance with Washington. There is good relationship between Europe and Washington, so they don't want to break it. So they equally apprehensive and antagonizing Trump, and thus prefer strategic restraint. Okay, so Trump is not worried about the European Union given dependence on the US. However, the combined strength of Brazil, Russia, and US will certainly serve as deterrent. But still, they are not going to stop it, and they are not going to do something. I don't know why, but the author is giving some ideas that the European state do or not view these necessary war. Most of them ignored it. Okay, so the European foreign policy chief stated that the Europe feels slighted because it was not consulted because the US clearly says there is no objective, and Trump expressed that they are as most NATO member and refused to deploy the militaries ensuring free navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. However, the action unlikely to move beyond non-cooperation. No European state blamed Trump square of initiating a war. So what it compared to European stance on Russia, its posture on Iran is revealing it invoked international law and sovereignty is condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So, but is restrained even in using words. Using the US, more striking, however, is the absence of a strong statement and condemnation from the BRICS countries. This war have entered third week. This is serious risk of escalation. So, what BRICS has not joined and says that the US-Israel action for the organization whose political centers counting the hegemony, Western hegemony, which dream legitimation and global South in action to woefully inadequate. In a modest statement, it called for ceasefire and urged dialogue. Okay, so the Shanghai Cooperation Organization issued a statement without naming blaming anyone. What ideally the BRICS should have taken concrete measure immediately. BRICS members, including UAE, they usually have diversified interests. However, the powerful actors such as the countries which are inside the BRICS demonstrate that reiterate the cause of sovereignty and non-interference at every multiple forum, but when it becomes a concrete measure, their approach to lackluster the ideas. Okay, sovereignty, so non-interfering and non-interference at every multilateral forum, but when it comes to concrete measures, their approach is lackluster. So it must not allow the world to hurtle towards order where the powerful so what they can suffer the most. Okay, so this is the data, and this data says that the question as well the leaders of the country put aside difference and coordinate action to send powerful message. One cannot be sure. So this is the question and answer pattern, and author is just trying to give the ideas that why the BRICS nation is not going to stop this war. Okay, so why NATO does not have answer to Trump's call to join Iran war? Rule of engagement article. So the mainly it says that why NATO Charter says that they are not able to, they are not, they does not want to join this war. They have a lot of reasons, and they were the joint war commencement by the US Israel against Iran now in the third week. Okay, so US not get got anything out of NATO. So this is the thing. So thank you. I will going to upload this PDF in the description. Go and please download from there. I know the session is going to be too long. That's why I'm stopping it here. Okay. Thank you for watching.